You sit down at a restaurant. You're hungry, maybe a little hangry, and you're scanning the menu trying to decide between the pasta and the steak. The waiter comes over with a basket of warm bread and a little dish of butter. You think, "Oh, how nice. Free bread." You grab a piece. Then another. By the time your actual meal arrives, you're not even that hungry anymore, but you eat it anyway because you already paid for it. You leave feeling uncomfortably full, and you tell yourself you'll do better next time. But here's the question nobody asks. Why did they give you that bread in the first place? My name is Todd, and I spend way too much time thinking about how restaurants manipulate your psychology to maximize their profit margins. If you're someone who's ever wondered why seemingly every sit-down restaurant puts bread on your table before you order, or why you always end up spending more than you planned, hit subscribe and give this video a thumbs up, because what I'm about to show you is going to completely change how you think about eating out. Here's the thing. That bread isn't free. I know it shows up without you asking for it. I know it's not on the bill. But that bread is one of the most profitable items in the entire restaurant, and it's making them money in ways that are so subtle, most people never even notice. Now look, I'm not talking about some evil conspiracy here. This is basic restaurant economics combined with human psychology, and it's been refined over decades to extract maximum revenue per customer. According to industry data, the average American eats out about 4 to 5 times per week and spends roughly $3,200 a year on restaurant meals. That's a massive industry, and every single detail of your dining experience, from the music playing in the background to the weight of the fork in your hand, has been carefully engineered to make you spend more. So why the bread? Let's break down exactly what's happening here, because once you see it, you can't unsee it. First, there's the wait time problem. When you sit down at a restaurant, there's always a gap between when you order and when your food arrives. Could be 15 minutes, could be 30, depends on the place. During that time, you're just sitting there. You're hungry. You're getting hungrier. And here's what most people don't realize. Hungry customers are impatient customers. They get irritable. They start checking their phones. They wonder if they should have gone somewhere else. Some of them just leave. This is a real problem for restaurants. According to research from the National Restaurant Association, customer satisfaction scores drop significantly when wait times exceed 20 minutes, and every 1-point drop in satisfaction translates to a measurable decrease in tips and return visits. Restaurants need you to stay in your seat, and more importantly, they need you to stay happy while you wait. Enter the bread basket. That warm, complimentary bread serves a very specific psychological function. It gives you something to do. You're no longer just sitting there staring at the menu. You're eating. You're occupied. The wait time feels shorter because you're engaged in an activity. Studies on perceived wait time show that customers who are given something to eat or drink while waiting perceive the wait as being up to 30% shorter than it actually is. The bread isn't making your food come faster. It's just making the wait feel less painful. But here's where it gets interesting. That bread isn't just keeping you occupied. It's actively changing your behavior in ways that increase the restaurant's profit. Let's talk about alcohol. When you're hungry and you're waiting for food, you're way more likely to order a drink. Maybe you order a beer. Maybe you order a cocktail. Maybe you order a glass of wine. And here's the thing, alcohol is where restaurants make their highest profit margins. A cocktail that costs the restaurant $3 in ingredients gets sold to you for $12 or $14. That's a 300 to 400% markup. Compare that to an entree, where the profit margin might only be 60 to 70% after you factor in the cost of ingredients, labor, and overhead. Now you might be thinking, okay, but I was going to order a drink anyway. Maybe. But here's what the data shows. Customers who receive bread or appetizers before ordering are 22% more likely to order alcohol, and they order an average of 1.3 drinks per person instead of 0.9. That extra 0.4 drinks per customer adds up fast. If a restaurant serves 200 customers on a Friday night, that's 80 additional drinks sold. At $12 a drink, that's an extra $960 in revenue just from giving away bread that costs them maybe 50 cents per basket. The bread is an investment. It costs them almost nothing, and it drives high-margin sales. But wait, there's more. And this is where the psychology gets really diabolical. When you eat bread before your meal, you're filling up on the cheapest possible calories the restaurant can give you. Bread is mostly refined carbohydrates. It's not expensive. A loaf of bread that costs the restaurant $2 can fill 12 baskets. That's about 17 cents per serving. Compare that to the cost of the protein in your entree. If you order a steak, that steak costs the restaurant maybe $8 to $12 wholesale. If you order salmon, that's $6 to $10. The restaurant wants you to buy that entree because that's where they make money, but they don't actually want you to eat all of it. Here's why. When you fill up on bread, you eat less of your expensive entree. You might eat half your steak and take the rest home in a box. Now the restaurant has gotten full menu price from you, but they've saved money on your actual consumption. You paid $28 for that steak, but you only ate $14 worth of it. The restaurant just increased their effective margin. And here's the kicker. When you take food home, you're less likely to come back soon. You've already got leftovers. But when you finish your whole meal at the restaurant, you're more likely to return within the next week or two. So the bread serves this dual purpose. It reduces the restaurant's food cost per customer while simultaneously setting up future visits. It's brilliant, and it's backed by data. Restaurants with bread service report higher average checks and better food cost percentages than restaurants without it. Now you might be thinking, Todd, this doesn't sound that bad. I like bread. And if I'm taking food home, I'm getting more value, right? Here's the uncomfortable truth. You're not getting more value. You're spending the same amount of money on food that you could have ordered less of in the first place, and you're filling yourself up with cheap carbs that spike your blood sugar and leave you hungry again 2 hours later. Plus, let's be honest, how often do you actually eat those leftovers? A study from the American Journal of Agricultural Economics found that roughly 40% of restaurant leftovers end up in the trash within 48 hours. You paid for food you didn't eat and didn't want. But let's get into the real psychology here, because this is where it gets dark. Restaurants have figured out that the bread basket creates something called the reciprocity effect. When someone gives you something for free, you feel obligated to give something back. It's a fundamental principle of human psychology. The restaurant gave you free bread, so subconsciously, you feel like you should reciprocate. How do you reciprocate at a restaurant? You order more. You get the appetizer you were on the fence about. You say yes to dessert. You leave a bigger tip. This isn't speculation. This is documented in psychological research. A classic study from Cornell University found that when servers give customers a small gift, like a mint or a piece of candy, tips increase by an average of 3%. When they give 2 candies, tips increase by 14%. And when they give 1 candy, walk away, then come back and say, you know what, you seem like great people, here's another candy, tips increase by 21%. The perceived generosity creates a sense of obligation. The bread basket works the same way. It shows up before you order, it feels like a gift, and it creates this subtle pressure to spend more. You're not consciously thinking, I need to reciprocate for this bread. But the psychological effect is happening whether you're aware of it or not. And here's what makes this especially effective. The bread shows up warm. There's a reason for that. Warm food triggers the release of dopamine in your brain. It's comforting. It makes you feel good. It puts you in a positive emotional state, and when you're in a positive emotional state, you spend more money. Retailers have known this for decades. That's why shopping malls pump in the smell of cinnamon and vanilla. That's why car dealerships offer you coffee. Positive emotions lower your financial guard. So the bread isn't just filling time and driving drink sales. It's literally putting you in a mental state where you're more likely to say yes to upsells. The waiter suggests the truffle fries? Sure, sounds good. You want to add shrimp to your pasta for an extra $8? Why not? By the time your bill comes, you've spent $40 or $50 instead of the $25 you budgeted for, and you can't quite figure out how it happened. But here's the bigger picture, and this is what really bothers me. The restaurant industry has become incredibly sophisticated at separating you from your money, and most people have no idea it's happening. It's not just the bread. It's the menu design. High-profit items are placed in the upper right corner of the menu because that's where your eyes naturally go first. Prices are written without dollar signs because the dollar sign triggers your brain's pain response. Expensive items are listed next to even more expensive items to make them seem reasonable by comparison. The music is timed to a specific tempo to control how fast you eat. The lighting is set to a specific brightness to influence your mood. Every single detail has been A/B tested and optimized to maximize revenue per square foot. And it works. The average American spends $3,200 a year eating out, and a huge chunk of that spending is driven by psychological manipulation that you're not even aware of. So what do you do about this? Here's the action plan. First, skip the bread. I know that sounds simple, but it's the most effective thing you can do. When the waiter brings the bread basket, just say, "No thank you, we're good." If you're really hungry, order a side salad or a vegetable appetizer. You'll fill up on something that actually has nutritional value instead of empty carbs, and you won't trigger the reciprocity effect. Second, order your drinks and your food at the same time. Don't let the waiter take your drink order first and then come back for food. When you order everything at once, you're making decisions based on what you actually want, not on how hungry you are in the moment. This one simple change can cut your average check by 15 to 20%. Third, decide what you're going to spend before you walk in the door. Look at the menu online. Know what you want. Set a budget. When you walk into a restaurant without a plan, you're vulnerable to every upsell and psychological trigger they throw at you. But when you walk in with a clear decision already made, you're in control. Fourth, pay attention to portion sizes. Most restaurant entrees are 2 to 3 times larger than what you actually need to eat. If you know you're going to have leftovers, consider splitting an entree with someone or ordering an appetizer as your main course. You'll save money, you'll eat a more reasonable amount of food, and you won't feel guilty about wasting half your meal. And fifth, if you really love bread, buy your own. A loaf of good artisan bread from a bakery costs $4 or $5 and will give you way more bread than you'd get from a restaurant basket. You can have it at home, with better butter, whenever you want, and it won't come with a side of psychological manipulation. Here's the bigger picture. The restaurant industry isn't evil. They're businesses, and businesses are designed to maximize profit. That's fine. But you need to understand the game they're playing so you can make informed decisions. That bread basket isn't hospitality. It's a strategic tool designed to increase revenue per customer. And it works because most people don't realize what's happening. The financial system isn't neutral. Restaurants aren't neutral. Every environment you walk into where money is being exchanged has been carefully designed to extract as much of your money as possible while making you feel good about it. And until you start seeing these systems for what they are, you're going to keep overspending without understanding why. So here's what I want you to do. Next time you eat out, pay attention. Notice when the bread shows up. Notice how it makes you feel. Notice what you order afterwards. Track your spending for a month and see how much you're actually spending on restaurants versus what you thought you were spending. Look at that number. That's money you worked for. Money you earned. Money that could be in your savings account or your investment portfolio. And then decide if you're okay with that, or if you're ready to do something about it. Because here's the thing. Restaurants want you to eat the bread and spend more money. But you don't have to play along.